Hello everyone, Namaste. Welcome to Himalaya Spirit Tarot. I am Janaka, your tarot card reader and your medium. And today we are bringing in messages from Lord Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. There are three pictures in front of you, which will serve as option number 1, option number 2, and option number 3. And once you've taken your pick from the three pictures, there's also other options to consider. You can choose one of these cards right here. The first one, I hope I can zoom in and you can see better. So the first one says winners never quit. The second says believe in yourself. And the third says life is tough, but so are you. Right. So there are also colors associated with each pile. The first pile has the colors orange, pink, brown, and indigo. The second pile has yellow, blue, red, as well as grey. And the third pile has green, white, violet, and black. So you could be wearing these colors, or these colors could hold a particular significance for you. Once you have taken your pick, either from the thumbnail, that is the pictures in the beginning, or the cards or the colors, then we will start with your reading. Hi, group number 1. Namaste. Welcome to Himalaya Spirit Tarot. I am Janaka, your tarot card reader, and I am also your medium for the while that you are with me here. We are bringing in messages from Lord Shiva. First thing that I would really like to make very clear is that it's not possible to have a conversation with Lord Shiva in the way of doing tarot, etc. Shiva is this ever-present, omnipresent, all-seeing, omniscient, I think that's what it is. Energy, that's who Lord Shiva is. Shiva essentially means that which is auspicious. So whether it be in heaven, hell, or earth, whatever is auspicious, is good, is pure, is Shiva. Shiva is a quality. Hence, to say that I am communicating or channeling Lord Shiva would be absolutely wrong. Now, having said that, I will channel in whatever comes through. And if I do feel the presence of, let's say, a certain energy, and that could be the energy of angels, could be the energy of light beings or extraterrestrials, or it could also be the energy of something else, then I will make sure that I mention it. With that, we'll just get started with your reading. And the card that you picked is Winners Never Quit. I want to make sure that this is visible on the side here. And the second one that we have is, this card actually says swimming, and it has the number 23. Okay, don't mean to frighten anybody, but in the very beginning, the first message that I'm sort of getting here for you is that if you really wish to swim in the ocean that you have been thrown into, there is certain change that you will have to make. And this change in the beginning will feel very unpleasant. It's not going to be necessarily good or make you feel happy. And I know this is not something that we want to hear, but it is something that is often the case. Working hard or making life choices where we leave our comfort behind, comfort in the terms of wealth and luxuries even, we leave all that behind and we seek something higher, something which resonates with our soul, the truth. It's difficult, but it's worth it. So you're being called to do that, especially if you've chosen this spiral and you're here with me. Then yes, we have universal harmony. There's also, oh my goodness, guardian angel. Okay, it looks fine. Guardian angel. And we have Libra. So another message that I have for you is group number 1. If you were to ask Lord Shiva, whether or not it is worth it to make sacrifices for universal harmony and balance, the answer would always be yes. Lord Shiva is a great yogi. I don't know how you say it in English, but somebody who does very strong penance. So he has lived his life abstaining, at least of what we know of him, which is very little. He lived his life abstaining from food, from all forms of comfort. He did not have any warm clothing on him. He lives in the Himalayas, on Kailash, which is, completely laden with snow, frozen all through the year, and no clothes on him, just meditating upon who God is, what God is, and finally, he's the one who is the most enlightened of us, of all, and equivalent to, really, as a yogi, he is above every yogi, right? And connected with this quality of Mahadev, where he is the great God himself, having reached such high consciousness. And that's just what we basically barely know of the origin of Shiva. We don't really, we can barely imagine who Mahadev is. However, the question, if it were to be asked, that is it worth making a sacrifice, the answer would be yes. Yes, it is always worth making a sacrifice, always putting yourself through something tough that eventually will not seem so tough, is also something that I'm getting, that in the beginning is when it seems tough, but later on it really will not be that difficult. So that's very important for you to know. If you're looking to make a difficult decision, I'm afraid that the answer would be that you should take that difficult decision. So yes, we have Sweet Orange. This card actually does talk about the excess of something that makes you feel full of life, the excess of that. For instance, a very good example is coffee. Caffeine really makes you feel energetic, makes you feel like you've got energy to do anything, accomplish any task, lift weights, so etc, etc. However, in the long run, it takes a toll on your nerves, and it has adverse effects as well. The caffeine crash is quite difficult as well. So again, good things, comforts are always, they're pleasant, they call them to you. I know, pretty grim. You'll be like, we just came here to be happy and entertained, but I'm sorry, that's just it's not in the vibe, it's not in the energy today. We have sharing, which is the Queen of Wands. Yeah, we have the Queen of Wands. Then we have number 11, breakthrough. I think this is justice. I'm not sure. Sharing and breakthrough. Sharing your fire after you have a breakthrough. Okay, I see. And then we have politics. Another, I would like to say, rule of the world, of the universe, different verses is, and the energy of Shiva too, is that, see, once you say something, once you make a certain promise and you don't keep it, then there are repercussions of that, right? And at the same time, most of the times, your guardian angels, your spirit beings, that is your spirit teams and the spirit beings around you, they will make sure that the things that you've visualized, dreamt of, you sort of work towards them. So some of us have dreamt of being enlightened souls. Some of us have dreamt of, being psychics and mediums. And some of us have dreamt of meeting gods and goddesses and so on and so forth. But there is a lot here that is involved. We have to break through a lot. We have to go through a lot of, pain. Essentially, a lot of you have hoped that these powers, these I wouldn't even say power, but really this spirituality of yours. With this, you can provide something to the rest of the world. And you've hoped that you might gain something with which you can, help the rest of the world. But essentially, it is a dream that you carry, and only you will have to go through a breakthrough. It's not like you carry the dream and your neighbor will go through the breakthrough. You are carrying the dream. You will go through the hard work and the breakthrough. Now, the politics card here is, the influence of a lot of, I would like to say, false information which is out there. And it is really, most of the times that I am doing tarot readings, I have to be very upbeat and continuously tap in with positivity instead of neutrality, instead of, what is very, seamlessly coming in. I have to continuously tap in with what would people like to hear, what seems, what will bring a smile to their face. Because if I do not do that, then I am irrelevant. However, and that is the politics of today's world. Everybody is struggling to be relevant, on media, on in society, through wealth, through power, etc. Through beauty, even, some people will do that. To be relevant and not. But however, we have to risk being irrelevant. We have to risk being discarded, And for somebody who has already done that, if you are someone who's like, but I have been discarded enough, if I have been, thrown out enough, I have been neglected and I have suffered enough, then you are on the right path and heaven is waiting for you on the other end. I promise you it is. And that is the best message I can ever give to somebody, is who has been good and kind and truthful and honest and not deterred from hard work. It's always, it's a truth that comes from deep within me and comes from deep within anybody, that God will find you. We have participation. Yeah, because you are participating with God, with Shiva, with purity, with innocence, with the truth. Shiva is the truth. And you're participating with it. You're engaging only with it, not with what's false, not with what feels good to see, feels good to hear, and we have patience. And you have waited very, very patiently. And I don't think that this reading is something that is meant for a lot of people, I get around, I would like to say, 3,000 views maximum. On a good day, I will get 3,000 views. And I'm saying this so that I can tell you that from the 3,000 views that I get, many of the people will, leave the video midway, because not many can hear certain things that are painful, such as you have to sacrifice. Even after years of sacrifice, you still have another one to make. Not many want to hear it. Many will be like, oh, but that doesn't align with, my reality. It has, I'm only trying to manifest positively, hence, discard. So making that a reason to discard these simpler truths of being honest, being true, not giving in to the idea of money, fame, power, not getting corrupt, people would prefer to ignore these simpler truths, and not be, because they get impatient. To carry the truth within you is an act of patience. It takes your entire life, till your last breath, you have to be carrying the truth within you. And if you are somebody who feels that I have been doing that, then yes, I will pray to God myself, and I will, that you see heaven, and and may you help us as well, if you are somebody who has continuously lived and breathed in truth and in honesty, in dignity, in kindness and in compassion. Then there is nobody who is better than you, greater than you, and Lord Shiva will take you and place you upon his crown as a jewel himself. So it's something, however, that you have to answer, that do you deserve that place, or not? Is it something that just feels good to hear in the moment, or is it something that you can truly say that, oh, no, I am a person like that? Let's continue on our little bit of a tougher journey here. And then we have consciousness, but we have it in reverse, so I shall take it as such. Consciousness. For many of us who are resonating with this message and are not having trouble with this message, we have sort of, reached a place where we do realize that this mind and this body is not the truth of us. There's so much more beyond. And we truly wish to one day be enlightened souls who are one with God, and perhaps don't have to continuously repeat this cycle of life and death. At least not in a way where we continuously have to see suffering, mutilation of children, wars happening, murder, the assault of women and men. We wish for a better earth. We wish to bring in beauty and joy, but that of an honest kind, not that is completely self-serving. And it is a message for somebody like that, even if, and this is something you have to answer for yourself. Am I like that? Am I not? Yeah. We have isolation. And if you are a person like that, group number 1, life will feel isolating. That's a fact. Life will seem painful and strange and quite lonely at times. And I would like to tell you one thing, that although you're not alone, yes, you're not, you will feel lonely. This, that's the weird nature of life sometimes, that even though in spirit that there is so much backing us up, we have a lot of protection from our guides, we have our ancestors of light, we have our ancestors go back years and years and years, like centuries in the past. So our ancestors include gods and goddesses. So our gods and goddesses, as our ancestors, are with us. So we're not alone, but sadly, often we have to feel lonely, because there is some form of a truth in that loneliness. There is something that loneliness is trying to tell us. And only somebody who can sit in silence with that loneliness and meditate without going to a medium per se, that person is able to break free of that place of isolation. Otherwise, you keep going back to that place of isolation. You might, not feel lonely at, let's say, for a month, but after a month, you'll go back into that, that ice cold room and feel lonely again. So how is it that we don't feel lonely ever? There's only one way. We stay connected to God and consciousness, because God is everything, isn't it? God covers everything and it permeates everything. So if you're connecting with something which is everywhere and knows everything and feels everything, then everything is with us and we are with everything, and such a person is neither alone nor lonely. Very beautiful words to listen to and get comfort by, but equally difficult to really sort of, act upon. Yeah, we have projections. Ooh, I wonder what this is. We have 777. That's a beautiful number repeating itself for you. We have 7 here, 7 here, and we have 7 here. This is the 7 of cups. This is a very interesting thing, because what I would like to say the Shiva energy is asking you to do here is to check how much of what you have wanted today has been something that you truly wanted, and how much of it is what your mother wanted, father wanted, sister wanted, brother wanted. Oof. Sometimes what happens is that we take even the dreams of our heroes. Let's say somebody we saw on TV and they said that we always wanted, this, and now we borrow their dream that, oh, if my role model dreamt of this, then I will also dream of this. Now, this isn't bad. Again, it isn't. It's just something to think about, so that we arrive at a deeper truth of intention, that yes, I am doing this task, but where is it coming from? Not to categorize the task as good or bad, just to see where it is coming from. Essentially, that's what it is. And then we have totality, number 5. And I believe that some of us after this message, whoever has, been present in this message and, sort of understood what I'm trying to say here, which I believe many will have understood, because, there are some amazing, beautiful, courageous souls on this channel here. Most of us are, to be honest. If you're somebody who's watching this video and is like, I don't agree at all with what this girl is saying, and you reject this message, I'm not saying that you're not brave at all, or that only the people who are brave will accept this message, but I am just saying that, yeah, it will take a certain level of courage to admit that life is hard, and you have to spend a lot of time in this sad state of loneliness before we realize a higher state of happiness, which is more permanent in nature. Just how, okay, but anyway, so we have totality, which is the 5 of Wands. I have no idea why totality is anyway. Then we have the 9 of Wands, which is basically exhaustion in this tarot deck, right? 5 of Wands is usually about a lot of meaningless fighting, really. And the way I'm seeing this, according to this card, what it feels like is just participate in the fight. The only one challenge. Why do I want to say challenge again? Perhaps it is a challenge that you are facing, because that's the word I keep getting, challenge. You are supposed to take it up and fight a fight, even though it's a little exhausting. And not just a little, I'm pretty sure that it's very, very exhausting. And, I'm sure that fighting that fight, something immense, great, beautiful, something unexpected is going to reveal itself in a way, or you're going to understand something about life or about yourself. Okay, let's see more, though. I think we've sort of summed it up in a very good way. We have kidneys. I think this is just a reminder to keep having water. If you're looking for a spiritual cleanse, water is one of the best ways to increase your psychic awareness as well. So if you want to be spiritually connected, then have more water, I would like to say. And as the other thing is that, while I do understand now, why totality is here, when you are sort of being swung by life from one place to the next, just sort of like you have no choice, you're swinging from, sometimes somebody, sometimes Lord Shiva is holding you, other times Devi Ma is holding you, next time Jesus Christ is holding you. So, you're just being, thrown about by life. It's hard to keep faith, and it's hard to be positive, and it's very important during this time that we don't neglect our physical upkeep. It's really important, unless you're planning to be a very strict sadhak, yogi, in which case you're just, you're planning to fast for 10 years and not have any food. But if you're going to eat, please eat good food that keeps you positive. Fresh food, fruits are always positive. Fluids will always keep you positive. Water will always keep you positive. Hence, it keeps you psychically active, because it keeps you electromagnetized, right? And I think that's the crux of the message that I have for you. At the back of the deck, we have this card which says, it says penis. I have no idea if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube or not, but I'm gonna, I've said it anyway. So this might also, it actually just sort of represents the urge to take action, spiritually speaking, symbolically speaking. I do like to see the human body as a symbol, and as somebody who works with energy, I really work with the human body a lot, more than anything. It's one of the most, I would like to say, psychic organs of the human body, the penis. So, however, it is so sensitive that it has to be disciplined. And if a man is watching this, he will tell you about it. It has to be disciplined. So something along that as well is being carried by the Shiva energy, to be disciplined in your psychic sensitivity. Otherwise it'll take a toll on you. You'll just catching all kinds of messages, all kinds of energies, and everything is a message all of a sudden. You can't discern between, well, this is a message that has to be given out, and similarly this is a message that has to be accepted, and this is a message that has to be rejected. You're just consuming a lot. So that's one message that I'm getting with that card, Venus, right there. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, so this is the message that I have for you, group number 1. Om Namah Shivaya. I thank divinity, your divinity, and all the divinity that surrounds me and that resides within me, for helping me bring this message to you. I thank you for allowing me to take some time in your life and say whatever I had to say. And for everybody who is new, a very big hearty welcome to Himalaya Spirit Tarot. And yes, to everybody who has been with me since day 1, I love you all. And if you're new, oh yes, if you did like what I said here, if you like and share and comment, it just, it so happens that maybe a person who needs a message gets it. So if you would like to help me, it would mean a lot if you could like, comment, and share. And if you're new, do consider subscribing. Until then, namaste, and I will see you. Hi, group number 2, namaste. Welcome to Himalaya Spirit Tarot. I am Janaka, your tarot card reader and your medium, and these are going to be your messages from Lord Shiva. Before we start with that, I would like to clarify that it is not really possible to speak with Lord Shiva via a deck of tarot cards. Essentially, it's extremely difficult to speak with him even while you are in meditation. You have to meditate for 40, 50, sometimes even that is 40, 50 years. Sometimes even that is not enough. And even after that, you probably get a glimpse of Lord Shiva and nothing more. And he remains a mystery till date. However, I will speak. Shiva, Lord Shiva, is a form of energy. It is the energy of purity, of truth, of that which is auspicious and that which sustains, nurtures life. So it is with that energy that I shall try to connect and bring in messages during this time. If I feel the energy of any other being, angel, god, goddess, etc., then I shall also talk about that. With that, let us begin with your messages. The first card that you picked for yourself is Believe in Yourself. I believe I can put it here and you'll be able to see. Believe in yourself, and then we have Crystal. Interesting. So for group number 1, the message was quite a little, it was a little, it wasn't very palatable. It wasn't a very delicious message that you would like to accept immediately. And I think we're following that theme. The messages are a little stern. Not stern, they're a little sobering, I would like to say. First thing is that when we are trying with the crystal card, believing in yourself has to be a second to second thing, okay? And every second, an hour to hour, from hour to hour, you have to believe in yourself. But as human beings, there are times when we will not believe in ourselves. Why? Because there are times where our consciousness, our conscience tells us that we have probably done something which is incorrect. Usually a man, a woman is completely aware, a human being is completely aware of a sin that they have committed. Even if it's deep, if it's somebody with great shadows, then it will be very, very, very deep in their subconscious. But it will be there that I have done something wrong. And that's when, we start wavering from our faith and we start looking for validation on the outside. Am I a good person? Am I honest? Am I doing the right thing? Sometimes if you're not performing well in our job, we immediately are like, are we good enough? Are we skilled enough? if somebody doesn't like us, let's say a boy doesn't like a girl, or a girl doesn't like a boy, then whoever is rejected will be like, am I not nice enough? So it is that believing in yourself, more or less, is a very conditional thing in human life. And that's okay, because that's been the nature of life. We believe in ourselves and then I don't. But currently, right now, somebody watching this, if you are going through a process where you are having difficulty believing in yourself, you simply need to ask yourself that, have I done something wrong because of which I don't believe in myself? Or is it because, somebody has rejected me and that's why I don't believe in myself? See, if somebody has rejected you and you feel like, well, I did not deserve to be rejected, then the belief can be restored very quickly. However, if you feel that somebody has rejected me and I deserved it, I don't, deserve to be accepted, I do deserve to be rejected, then there's two things to do. Either, number one, either you're wrong, either you have, a low self-esteem, which is very common and to have, not common, but I would like to say it's very natural to have it. Don't beat yourself up about having low self-esteem. It's a terrible thing that this world is doing to us, making us question our self-worth. So either that, because of rejection, or you truly think that you have to upgrade your skills. But if you feel, now again, I'm going down a chain of if, then, if, then, if, then. So if you think that you've got to upgrade your skills or upgrade how you look and then you'll be accepted, then I would like to tell you that satisfaction is really not a lot about being accepted by the others. Make sure that if you're upgrading your skills, it is something that you're doing it for yourself, not to prove a point to the person that rejected you. That does serve as a motivation, but that will not eventually lead to this belief in your own self. Because this card is all about sitting down and meditating deep and hard with some really difficult thoughts. These are not thoughts that are cured with a therapist in one sitting or cured with a healer in one second either. These are thoughts that you take up to the church, to the temple, to God almost every single night. And over the course of your life, it gets resolved. So if it's a thought like that, you'll have to, anatomize it. That's why, I was taking it as if then, if then, if then. That's something you'll have to keep on doing, So that's just the beginning of the message. Let me take some of these other oracle cards here. I feel like I'm going to lose a lot of subscribers from the reading that I'm doing today, but we have to do what we have to do. Virgo. Interesting. We had Libra. We have signs showing up. We had Libra in group number 1. We have healer within. Amazing. I love to see that, because Virgo is a profound healer. But Virgo usually goes through immense shadows. Ooh, look at that. And we also have Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is a very, it is the biggest, one of the strongest learners of spirituality, of the spiritual truth. It is capable of digesting that spiritual truth. But you will need a lot of, I would like to say, vigor, strength, stamina to digest certain spiritual truths, because they clash with the idea of material abundance, comfort, luxury, etc., etc. So that's the thing. And a lot and this message came to me some while back as well, that for a healer, if you truly want to heal yourself, if you truly want to heal the world, you must heal yourself. And there's this book that I am reading, and it is by Om Swami, and it's called The Power of the Gayatri Mantra. He's a very, as far as he's a very beautiful soul, and he's achieved so much in such a young age. Definitely very inspirational. He's a Swami, he's a sage, of course. So I don't know, he will probably deny, and he won't say that, oh no, I'm not a sage. I don't know what he'll say. I've never met him. But in that he did state a story where, he talked about it is the quality of a true healer to know how deeply healing his or her own wound will heal the wounds of others. And a true healer will really see it. And that's, the darker, I won't say the darker quality, a quality of Virgo is that it keeps going outside to heal the people outside, but it doesn't pay attention to the wounds within. But if you are to start healing the falsities, the limitations, the pain, the fear within, you are healing so much of fear outside of you. And you just have to, you might not have the eyes to see it, but trust me, that is the case. And of course you'll be like, why do we trust you? Of course you don't have to. It's always a choice, and that's the beauty of life, that we have choice, right? And we have Camphor, and this message is for somebody who maybe for someone who relates with Sagittarius, but I would like to speak with Sagittarius when Camphor is here. It is sort of really important to look into the history of our religions and our ancient scriptures, etc., and how much of their truth resonates with us, and to not take shortcuts is a quality that very few people have, because shortcuts are extremely tempting, and sometimes they make a lot of sense as well. Sometimes it's sensible to take a shortcut. And the story which is coming to mind is, I think it was, who was it? Ramakrishnan. I think it was Ramakrishnan who was, he had meditated a lot, and he had a lot of powers and siddhis, and he had a lot of, divine things, magical things that he could do. And there was a boat, and along the river, he was standing by a river, and there was another a young practitioner of magic and tantra, maybe just a spiritual person who used to pray, meditator, and that boy, he told to Ramakrishnan that I have been sitting here along the river bank for many years now, and I want to cross the river, but I will only cross the river with my my powers. And then I don't exactly remember the story, but after that, what happened, I think, was that Ramakrishnan showed to him who he is, that he has a lot of powers. So the man became amazed and said, you must be able to cross the river, with your powers. He said, there is a boat right there. Why will I use so much of my energy and so much of my power to cross the river when there is a boat right there? Am I a fool? Have I done all these years of meditation just to become a fool, so that I can use my power to, cross the river? And I found it very, very, very practical. So sometimes, yes, you have to take the shortcut when it is the right cut to take, so to speak. But often, it's in spirituality, often a little bit of, it's not very difficult to attain spiritual stamina and vigor and strength. It's not that difficult. People think it is, because the initial stages of it come with a lot of sacrifice. And once you sort of get into the, groove of it, you are able to live with that energy of sacrifice, and it gives you a lot of, much more than you sacrifice, really. But I say that it's not, but it's my personal belief that we shouldn't do this with the intention of gaining something, right? So all right. Oof, very preachy today, very preachy. We have ovaries, we have the female principle. I shall take another card. We have spleen. Keep your spleen clean. So in the previous group, we had the penis card showing up, and I'm really, I feel that the two readings could be complementary. Okay, so the message that I am sort of getting here for you, for us, really, for all of us, is that it's better to be very selective during these times, because there is a lot going around that can be consumed. People are sort of really obsessed with creating things, If you will see on YouTube, there is a lot of content creation. Instagram, the same. Everybody wants to be a content creator. Everybody wants to offer. God, it's just a phenomena that's happening. So we have to be very careful of what we are accepting, because the female principle is that of acceptance, and spleen here is something that guards off things. It stands guards against what is wrong, because with the ovaries, that's where creation takes place. Because if we consume in mindless ways content, people, food, energy, music, if we are doing this mindlessly, then whatever power within you distinguishes between right and wrong, it will lessen. The more you are hungry for more and more and more, the idea of right and wrong starts to fade, because you're just like, oh, I just want to consume. Doesn't matter if it's right or it's wrong, that power fades within you. So we have been given this inner power to resist things. So the more you use it, the better it becomes, sort of. And the opposite, it also happens, is that we are ready to accept a lot of evil things from the world. Some of us we find ourselves in toxic relationships and in toxic situations, really. We find that more acceptable than the love of someone else. And that's why everybody has tastes and preferences, that this person is my type, that person is not my type, even if the person who is your type is usually more abusive. It's because we become hungry for a specific kind of thing in life, and it's a really layered thing, and it's very triggering to kind of accept that, yeah, it is because of us that this evil person came into our life. Although I don't really believe in people being completely evil. I don't believe in that. So it's always like 50% us, and 50% the rest of the world. So we do co-create, and I don't know, that is somehow being brought to light here. I wonder what that means for someone. I really don't know. So let me take some tarot here just to get more messages on this. It does seem interesting. We have past lives. Interesting. We have the dream. Goodness me. It seems to be about love. And we have the master. Osho right here. It is true that some of these energies are attached to us from, different past lives. That is undeniable. Often we have been carrying these things from past lives. And past lives don't have to be in human form. They can be in the form of an insect also, but they can also be in the form of, a higher energy form than a human. Maybe as a light being also, we did something, created a contract, right? And how interesting it is that from past life, what is happening with this group, and I hope that it is happening for you, group number 2, is that in this life, it's highly possible that you will go from the stage of having been in toxic relationships, multiple of these, to seeing the core desire that you have, which makes you get into all these toxic relationships, makes you attract the same kind of, narcissistic person in your life over and over, neglectful person in your life over and over. It makes you attract that person in your life, and you will see that, and you will more or less try to gain mastery over this desire. You will essentially find that your type of person, so to speak, changes quite a lot in this life. So that's definitely something that I can see and would hope that happens, because yeah, that is a beautiful thing to achieve, to free ourselves from patterns and cycles is definitely, it is the dream, as they say. The dream. This was the card that says the dream. We have going with the flow. We have the rebel. And we have fighting. Yeah, and it is definitely for some people here. Most of us really do want to exist, in a flow state. We don't want to be continuously resisting and fighting life. And you will be able to achieve this flow state after and I do see an initial bit of fighting for you here. I don't like to predict things. I don't like doing that, but I would say until April this will happen. I do not like to predict things though, so I'm taking that back. I do not really know when this will happen and up till when you will have to fight. But this fight is for a good cause. If you're fighting to liberate yourself from a particular cycle, a particular kind of people entering your life, if you're fighting to liberate yourself from that, then yes, of course, then it's a fight worth fighting. And please keep fighting on, and whatever help you need, ask spirit and ask us, really ask. I wish I can help you in some way. I wonder if I can. But if it is something, it feels like a worthy cause, so I would love to help you. I don't know how I can do that. Then we have the creator. Maturity as well as intensity. I do feel quite positive about this group, I have to say. I feel good and positive, very, very positive, that you will break free from this cycle. And yes, you will have to make some sacrifice. Yes, you will have to be disciplined. Yes, the fight will be difficult, yeah. But you are really going to become one with source, with energy. I really think that this is something that's going to happen for you, group number 2. But if you choose to accept this path, then you really have to continuously turn to God and burn any impurities of the mind, of the soul, of the body even. And that doesn't mean you're not allowed to have pleasure of the body, of the that is our senses, or physical intimacy, or sensory pleasures, that is like music, simple things like these. It's not to say that you're not supposed to enjoy them, but it's definitely, with the spleen here, you're supposed to continuously ask yourself that when is it becoming too much, and when is it turning toxic instead of becoming a fuel. It's something negative. And sometimes you don't even need, sometimes something will act as a fuel, but it won't be good for you, so that's why there are different kinds of petrol and gas that goes into a car. If you there's high quality gas, there's low quality gas. So petrol, so the bad quality of petrol will leave a lot of grease, and it will eventually cause your car to crumble down. So you want to make sure that if you are satisfying your senses, it is with something of good quality. It is something which is divinity in it. That's the shorter way to keep yourself going for a longer, for the longer journey in spirituality. So that is the message that I have for you, group number 2. I hope that this was able to bring something of value into your life. If you liked in any capacity what I said here, then I would truly appreciate it if you could like the video, comment your experience, and if you're new, maybe you could consider subscribing. I love you all so much. I thank you all so much for the support and love that you have given me. And yeah, until then, namaste. I will see you. Hi, group number 3, namaste, and welcome to your reading. This is messages. These are messages from Lord Shiva. Before we continue on that, I would just like to specify that it is quite impossible for me to speak with Lord Shiva. Maybe somebody else can. However, I cannot speak with him, especially not through some tarot cards. I can have a private conversation with his energy, but that will definitely not pertain to any form of psychic conversation where I can look into your life. However, the energy of Lord Shiva is omnipresent, and it is the purest form of energy. Well, it is purity. It is the energy which is pure, auspicious, and a driving force of life. So it is with us at all times. It is with that energy, with truth, that I wish to connect today and bring you these messages. In the process, if I do feel the presence of any other entity, an extraterrestrial being, a light being, or anything else, then I shall make sure to mention it. All right, with that, let us start with your reading. The card that you picked here is Life is Tough, but so are you. I wonder what it is that you're going through. Then we have number 10, Giza. Interesting. You definitely are going through something which probably is putting a lot of pressure on you, right? If you are in a situation where life is putting a lot of pressure on you, then I'm hearing that you will have to act accordingly. Yeah, you must act accordingly. You cannot play small. You cannot make small moves. You will have to make the big moves. Some of these moves will scare you, and they might scare a lot of people around you as well. That's very possible. Yes, so as I was saying, you might scare people by how tough you are, but at the same time, you might be scared of how tough life is asking you to be. That's a thing, that's a possibility that just sort of crossed my mind. So what has happened of late is that a spiritual truth, not a spiritual truth, really a truth that I was trying to resist for a very long time, sort of confronted me face front. And it was this, that at some point or the other, I will have to, stop playing this part of this, I don't know how to put it. I don't know how to really reveal to you what I feel at this moment. Let's just continue with the message. I just feel like it might be relevant here, but perhaps not. If it comes up again, then I will try to articulate it in some manner. We have law of attraction. Law of attraction. Then we have universal balance. And then we have universal love. So an important theme that I feel is building up in the message, in the cards here, is you know how it's usually, if you see tarot readings, it's usually all love and light, love and light. But that's often very in stark contrast to the reality that we find ourselves in. There's wars happening. There's mothers and fathers and wives, daughters, sons, children, everybody just really suffering. You sort of, chosen to look past all that. There's, as much as we say love and light, there's a lot of hatred and darkness. And not a lot of us have the capacity to think of these things and not let them get to you. especially when we hear from most of the people who seem to be successful. We really just hear from them. Don't think negative thoughts, because if you think negative thoughts, you invite negativity in your body. So your health will fail, and bad events will follow you, and so on and so forth. I have said that in my readings as well. And that's exactly, what I have to confront now, that I have said these extravagantly positive things when, negativity is something that we really have to deal with very bravely. We have to be tough. We cannot just hope for the best and have a good intention. We have to put in hard work. We have to give ourselves reality checks. We have to have the strength to, I think I've made the point more than. So how do we go about confronting reality, which is quite negative and really, but that is what it is. It is negative. How do we confront it? Did we see any, okay, we talk about, being very positive and bringing in the new age, but every time that we've seen the coming in of new age, even if it's in the Testament or if it's in any other holy book, it has happened after a great flood. It has happened after we've confronted negativity head on. So I don't completely believe in the fact that if we just believe in positivity, we'll, get somewhere. We have to really, muster up the courage to act in courageous ways and surprise ourselves with how courageous we really are. Otherwise, there is no point of magic if everything is already, so pre-established that you're good, you're wise, you're courageous. If it's already just pre-written and pre-handedly just given to you in your heart, then that magical moment doesn't happen when you do something and you're like, whoa, wow, I am magical and amazing. So that's the message that is coming forth really strongly with the spread of the cards. But that's just what is coming through me. Some other reader will look at this and say something else, of course. So you only have to take what resonates. So just going to take one more. Card here and see how this theme is building up. Your Coast Redwood. Because, see, this card actually talks about how magnanimous we really are, how beautiful we really are, how large we are, and we truly underestimate what we can do and how much we can take on. And at the same time, we shouldn't take on too much, so that our spine breaks and we aren't able to do anything at all. Difficulties are very frightening. They really are. And the state of affairs today is frightening. It's not something that I would prefer to gloss over. Just, run a news, like something. Yes, so my cat came in. So as I was saying, difficulties are difficult. War is bad. It's heartbreaking. Children dying, women being molested, and men being thrashed, battered, and, ripped apart. It's horrible what's happening out there. People holding a lot of hate towards each other. And it's terrible. And it takes courage to have in your heart this strength to mourn, to shed a few tears for those, that have fallen already to this darkness. And to not take it personally, to not make it, oh my God, well, wow, I will not do anything now because, I heard a piece of bad news. We've got to be tough during this time. We really do, together. And, those of us who will be able to do so will really go ahead to make a difference in our own lives, because there is a life beyond this. There is a soul, an oversoul, a consciousness, the Shiva beyond this, where we will exist without the war. But what we do during this war will define how we exist in that state, in the afterlife. So even if it is, as a cookie point that you are earning for heaven, we've got to be strong during this time. Yeah. Oh, look at that. We have sorrow. I was talking about sadness, and the card that showed up is sorrow. And we also have sharing, which is the Queen of Wands. That actually does bring to mind that if you see somebody in pain, in sadness, if you can help them, please help them. Sometimes we have to step outside our own pain and our own sadness to help others. Not many are capable of such bravery, and I am not going to ask anybody to do so. But if you ever feel that you have to do something truly strong, then I think it is a very, it's the act of utmost courage to step out of. You cannot completely see the monk's face here, the man who's suffering. It's so interesting, you know how, if you look at the man here, he does look like a monk, but he's not really a monk. He's somebody on the street, probably wrapped in a blanket. And there's loads of people like this, in India and in other countries, many countries. There's homelessness that's spreading like wildfire. It's madness. Yeah. And again, you'll be like, oh, well, these are negative words. We, cannot identify ourselves with negativity. Wow. And I just feel that is a very fearful way of living and a way of limiting yourself. If we think that we cannot face this negativity, shine the light within and share your courage. You can't share good words and say all will be good, all will be good. You have to actually share your courage by showing courage. Okay, feel that very strongly. Probably need to apply that in my life as well. We have change. And I don't know. The thing is that although what I've said is fairly nihilistic, fatalistic almost, it's not something pleasant to hear. But I would like to add this pleasant assurance that those who do good eventually comes to them. It does. It's an irreplaceable, inescapable law that good will come to those who do good. So please focus on actions is what I want to say here. Look, we have the source confirming it. It's almost like this all-seeing eye, the eye of our creator, right? And our creator, whether it's a man or a woman, or it's not a man or woman, or it's not anything at all, whatever it is, it has from the very get-go established the rules that kindness will be met with kindness. And continue to have faith in this belief. Even if you feel like all my life, all I've done is just been kind and kinder and kind and more, still continue to be kind. To yourself as well, of course. You have to be kind to yourself, by the way. I'm not asking anybody. This is not a call for you to tolerate abuse. When I say kind and courageous, I mean almost the opposite, which is going against the abuse, fighting the abuse. However, there comes a time where we feel like we've been fighting the abuse for so long and we need help. Yeah, so we've been fighting the thing for so long. We don't have any fight in us left. That often happens, and that will happen. And during this time, you are supposed to rest. And if it is a time like that you're facing, then you should rest. I am not a fortune teller, and I do not like to predict a lot of things in life. But I do like to talk about truth as I feel it. And I like to share my truth with people. And yes, rest is necessary during this time. Rest is necessary during this time. Love is necessary during this time. And you are supposed to share your sorrows, and you are supposed to find people who will share in with your sorrows. If you are surrounded by people who truly cannot listen to what you have to say, then it's terrible to be around such people. I would like to say maintain distance from such people, yes. But at the same time, do forgive them and hold. I'm not saying that hold too much space for them, but, don't hold negative space for them. Yeah. Even if you are doing something like cord cutting and removing somebody from your life, just, while you're removing them from your life or, cord cutting, make sure you say a little short prayer, just saying that, may good follow them or may good come to them, or, it doesn't matter what I think of them eventually. may they be a better person. These are simple things that we are forgetting these days, and most of the tarot readings have become a lot about, even mine own, which is why I feel the need to change it now. They've become a lot about connecting with the supernatural and not connecting with the natural, which is super. The natural is super. The more we try to connect with the supernatural, the more we'll feel at odds with our reality, which is not really serving us a lot of, it's not helping us much. Yeah, then we have 6, success. I wonder where this is going. Seems to be, it's such a positive card, success. So, but let's see where it's taking us. We have success and we have courage. A lot of talk about courage, and we have courage. They are saying, like, I did feel a certain energy coming in right, there. That, however, continue to trust in synchronicities and certain messages. Because, like I'm saying, that there's a lot of positivity which is imbued in tarot readings, meant to make us feel good, etc. So what do we believe in? What sign and symbols do we believe in? If we don't interpret the sign and symbols, the messages as good, then, where do we get the positivity from? You will find the right message, of course. You will find the messages of courage when you need them, surely. But make sure that you have the discretion that am I actively, just thirsting, have I become hungry for the message? Has it come to me out of greed, out of hunger for the message, or has it come to me naturally as a natural course of events? So this is a question that, we have to ask ourselves, that, what is the nature of this message? Is the nature of this positivity true, or is the nature of the positivity given to us false? The person who is speaking to us on screen, on TV, how genuine are they? How genuine do they seem? That's a very simple question to ask when wondering, should we believe the message this person is giving us or not? And we seem to, forget that. We focus on the message quite a lot. Then we have postponement. So, not to say that there are not people who watching the video who haven't already done a lot. I'm sure many of you watching this video do a lot of good things. You go out to volunteer, you go out to help those who are in need, people who have helped in war-prone areas where war has taken place, and donated and helped. Many people like that are definitely here. And although this message would be less for you, but this message is sort of meant to, invoke this, power in people, so that they don't forget that this light within us is shining, because there is a darkness out there which we still have to dispel, which we still have to take care of. And no matter how much good work we have done, there is still work that needs to be done still. So we need to sort of hold on during all the tough times. And I will give messages of love, obviously, but I just sort of wanted to maintain a balance, right? I feel like this is one of the rarer ones that I do. But you will find courage whenever you truly need it. It will find you. It will, it will. That's, we have pituitary gland, and we have ears. I think these are the last 2 cards that I will take. Pituitary gland and yes, pituitary gland is closely linked with our third eye, and the message is sort of repeating itself, that when you need to hear what you need to hear, it will find you. So if you get this message and it's not resonating, it doesn't even make sense for you, you will reject it, right? There is some other message for you out there, but all I'm trying to say is that let us not be completely a slave to finding positivity in life in order to escape reality. Reality will always be a mix of light and a mix of darkness. And it's not about healing even. It's just about accepting the truth sometimes. It's not about, it's not always about doing something about it. Sometimes it's just about sitting with it, sort of, a very strange kind of message. And I wonder what you will have taken away from this group number 3. Either way, if this message in any which way helped you, or you feel like it was something worth listening to, then I'm glad that you gave me these minutes of your time to speak with you. And I'm really grateful to you and to your love. If you liked what I said here, you could like the video, comment, subscribe and share. That would truly help my channel. And I bow to the divinity within you, to the divinity that is around me and that is within me, to the Shiva in all of us. And I hope to see you next time. Namaste. Bye bye.